Welcome, everyone. To the 37th commencement of Champlain Valley Union High School. At this time, I would ask the assembly to please rise and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Richard Brooks, followed by the Star-Spangled Banner, sung by Jennifer Boucher.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We ask now that the assembly be seated. The welcome for the class of 2001 will be delivered by Roland Kielman.
Welcome to our graduation. We still have much to do. Yeah. There are challenges yet to come. We've completed one leg of the journey. As Leonard Skinner sings it, I must be traveling on now because there are too many places I got to see. So I welcome you to a celebration that marks the end of our high school career, and I welcome you to a new beginning in our lives. To our teachers and staff members here at CVU, welcome. I speak for my classmates and say, we leave here as better individuals because of your tireless efforts and devotion to the profession of teaching. To our parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends, a warm welcome. You have loved and supported us. Your heart should be filled with pride and joy, and perhaps a little relief as well. And most affectionately, my classmates, I welcome you. How good does this feel? Yeah. We have forged a bond and our day is here, and we deserve this day. Whether it be trips to Colville's and Ballards, free periods, a place to park, or bit of crowd challenge, CVU has been both stress and joy. So revel in your success, celebrate this accomplishment, and lastly, press on with confidence and remember what Henry David Thoreau suggested more than a century ago. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will be met with a success unexpected. Thank you.
Thank you, Raleigh. The first address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Safira Feinberg.
Classmates, teachers, relatives, and friends, I stand before you today with reservation in embracing the title I have been offered, as to me it does not symbolize the pride of accomplishment, but rather the confinement of an impersonal and objective evaluation. Maybe I fear the associated intellectual expectations, or maybe I seek refuge from isolation, a sense of difference and not belonging, to which I have been exposed since early in life. Introduced to the world through a single mother and an absent father, my mother's continuous love and devotion ensured that I would not be emotionally deprived, but also masked the unusual circumstances of my life and a seeming normalcy. As I encountered the world, I was exposed to my own difference, though having been taught to be sensitive to the discrepancy of my lifestyle from that of others, I soon learned to value and not to judge. It is due to an intimate acquaintance with objectification that I do not revel in honor for the recognition I've been granted today, but instead remain consumed in an acknowledgement of a title's capacity to impose unprecedented generalization, as assumptions prevent others from becoming acquainted with me as an individual. I remain standing before you today with the wish to remind you of an integral component of human motivation that I have come to understand through my personal experience and intellectual discovery throughout life. I wish to speak of an intense vulnerability whose essence is exposed in the warm gaze of love, yet whose threat objectifies and stratifies humanity in a quest to find a tangible and definitive security. Ultimate superiority in nature's game of survival of the fittest has been mastered by the human intellect. Humanity has not merely proven itself most victorious in physical competition. Developing a thorough scientific and philosophical comprehension of life's behavior, we're able to manipulate nature's demands to appease human desire rather than to conform to nature's law. As we make ourselves exempt from conformity to nature, however, we lack the maturity to acknowledge the innate responses and motivations that do not automatically dissipate with an altered exterior. The human remains consumed in fear's motivation and mesmerized by intimacy's liberation. No longer necessary to compete with other species, we as humans have developed methods through which to differentiate ourselves from the rest of our own species, attaining prominence only through a degradation of seemingly opposing others. Hegel, a German philosopher, describes a consciousness that is compelled to define and objectify anything that is not the self as the other, the inessential, the object. He states, the subject can be posed only in being opposed. He sets himself up as the inessential, as opposed to the other, the inessential, the object. It is within the human compulsion to be empowered by objectification that we remain confined by the competitive attempts to mitigate the threat of our exposed vulnerability. Objectification enables the seemingly undefinable to become captive to generalization. We as humans are most complicated and vulnerable in that we are bound only by free will, while cautioned by an awareness of the responsibility implicit in freedom. We are capable of intimate spiritual realization that acquaints us with our own unique essence, yet we often sacrifice the humility of discovery to the solace of a definable superiority. Instead of acknowledging our own fear and intimidation when confronted by our undefined and unrestricted self, we impose definitions upon others to obtain control over that which is otherwise ephemeral. It is less threatening to define others and remain disconnected from the implications of our spiritual freedom than to endure the internal struggle to discover our own essence. In war, the opponent must be objectified as a personification of evil to enable the soldier to so maliciously harm another individual. If the opponent's humanity were to be acknowledged in the recognition of his name, family, and ambition, the humanity of the soldier could not be so immediately sacrificed to political victory. The capacity to objectify with the conviction to kill emerges from our innate tendency toward survival and the fear of anything that can be conceived of as different. But it is not only amidst the primitive nature of war that evolved humanity seeks refuge in objectification. We are all victims and instigators of objectification's lure. In society, we impose definitions upon others dependent upon the credentials they reveal, their capacity to conform to capitalism, their appearance, and their demeanor. We rarely regard an individual and immediately acknowledge the mystery beneath the physical facade. Innate is our capacity to objectify others in order to incorporate a necessary precaution and distance from the other so that we may survive. It is irrefutable that in immediate response, one offers the person who says he's going to Yale more intellectual credibility than the person attending a less-known university, even if that less-renowned university truly is of equal intellectual worth. Our society has become deficient of an internalized spiritual quest for acceptance and compassion, as we do not only seek fulfillment in the objectification of the other, but additionally of ourselves as inadequate, as an ideal education, ideal occupation, ideal personality, and ideal weight become the ways in which we define superior worth. We are too afraid of our own vulnerability to seek acquaintance with the genuine vulnerability of others. Instead of embracing our own unique capacity to influence the world with the revelation of our intimate self, we become consumed in a fear of inadequacy that in contradiction hinders our passion from emerging. High school is a time of insecurity, and I am confident that we have all made decisions and sacrifices that did not correlate with the pursuit of our passion, but that enabled us to find comfort in objectification and conformity. We have sought power in diminishing the insights, feelings, or routine of another, as we were unsure of the location of our own security. We have sometimes become so consumed in ensuring the prosperity of our own reputation that we did not acknowledge the loneliness or suffering we either directly or indirectly opposed upon others. We have sought power, humiliated others, and experienced a temporary superiority. Lord Chesterfield, an 18th century English aristocrat, political figure, and wit, once said, "Most people enjoy the inferiority of their best friend." But we have also been humbled by an acquaintance with loneliness, as we could not suppress the emergence of our inevitable difference, a difference that threatened not the exposure of inferiority, but a passion so intimate and vulnerable that we feared that it would be misinterpreted if revealed. In his inaugural speech, Nelson Mandela said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be beautiful, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of the universe. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." Mandela eloquently reveals that acquainted with the passion and influence implicit in our individuality, we possess the power to embrace our vulnerability and unify in the universal compassion of honest expression. I still cannot claim a title, yet I vow to attempt to embrace an uncensored expression of my vulnerable self. I hope you will all join me in this pursuit. We all possess a unique gift that only we as singular individuals can contribute to the world. Within a devotion to universal compassion, we must discover our unique gift and be liberated in the pursuit of its provisions. Until we are able to embrace our most intimate and uncontrived power, objectification's lure will continue to infiltrate society. With compassion for others and an appreciation of ourselves, however, true and enduring empowerment will flourish as we define humanity through ourselves, rather than escaping humanity through an impulsive distinction between self and other. I have not yet discovered my own gift, yet I am gracious to those mentors, relatives, friends, and community members who have continuously offered inspiration and encouragement in the sciences, arts, music, athletics, and life. Vulnerability may most thoroughly emerge in the context of those who so generously nurture your development and process. Thank you for your attention, and I wish everyone the opportunity to experience the empowerment of someday exposing your intimate self. Congratulations, class of 2008.
Thank you, Safira. The second address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Joseph Donegan.
Thank you, Val. Clarence Jordan was the leader of Quiniona, a Christian community in Georgia in the mid-1900s. This community was criticized by society for its liberal ideas and acceptance of all races. Once a neighbor stopped by Quiniona and angrily accused a handful of residents there of being unpatriotic. "That's not true at all," replied Clarence. "You've been given some wrong information. But you people won't fight." "Oh, the contrary," Clarence said. "We're big fighters." "You are?" The farmer looked puzzled. "Yes," Clarence said. "Don't you have a mule over at your farm?" Clarence then asked. "Yeah, you know I got several." "Well then," Clarence went on, "let me ask you a question. What would you do if you were walking by your barn and your mule suddenly stuck his head over the gate and bit you on the fanny?" "I'd pick up the nearest 2x4 and clobber him." "Now, why would you do that?" "'Cause I wouldn't let no mule get away with biting me." "But why wouldn't you bite him back? That's what he did to you." "Bite him? You crazy? I ain't gonna bite no mule. What on earth are you talking about?" "Fighting, and what to fight with. That's what I'm talking about. You don't let the mule choose the weapon for you. You choose your own weapon. The world chooses bombs and guns, hate, even math tests, and it chooses... It chooses stereotypes proliferated through TV and magazines. Let's not let the world choose our weapons for us. Let's choose our own weapons, and in doing so, act as the independent individuals that we were made to be. In the past 4 years, we have all done some fighting. Whether it was fighting the school authorities for more respect, or our parents for a later curfew. We've all wrestled with our homework, and some of us have competed on sports fields, while others have participated in theater and music. We've taken stands and made statements with our words and with our actions. For some, it has been our silence that has spoken out the most. As teenagers, we have resolved to fight against authority. We have resolved to fight against the norm. These past 4 years have been a time of learning, the least of which occurred while doing homework. We have learned about ourselves and our world through our everyday life experiences, through our successes and through our failures. We have tested our own limits and pushed those of the community in which we live. In the years to come, we're going to be the ones who decide how late we stay up. We're going to be the ones who monitor our own lives. It has been said that our generation doesn't know what it's like to go through a war. I believe that we're fighting a war every day of our lives. We are struggling against what society wants us to become. We are struggling against the median. We are fighting for integrity, equality, and justice. What matters the most in life is not what happens to us, but how we respond to what happens to us. Our lives are not defined by what happens around us, but by what happens because of us. Our lives will be defined by how we struggle against the part of ourselves that is weak and wants to give in. Our lives will be defined by expressing our internal feelings and beliefs through action. We had always laughed together and even fought like brothers. The weekends were our time to be cool. It didn't matter what people said in school. Not in junior high. But CVU was different. In it, our friendship didn't grow. I thought I had to pretend I was someone I wasn't, even though that included not remembering you. Playing cool was an attempt to calm insecurity. Perhaps that's why we grew apart. I do regret the day, on that first day of school, when I kissed our friendship goodbye, when you called my name and I turned around and walked away. There were too many other people I was trying to impress. I thought I had felt so many eyes clawing at my insides. That is why I pretended not to see as you passed by so quietly. I failed to understand that feeling deep within was my own soul, being suppressed by my own weak flesh, blinded by my own eyes, unable to see the world as it is, unable to see the thorn that protruded out of me, that was sticking into humanity. The sun set on that day, and it was I, not anyone else. I have no excuse. I do not blame society. It can only teach when one is willing to learn. Each day is a test. In life, the cumulative grade. I failed on that day. But the test is not over. For us, it has just begun. Past mistakes are a new beginning on which we must now run. On that first day of school, almost 4 years ago now, society bit me. It bit me with stereotypes and illusions that it wanted me to believe. I took the bait. I bit back. But at my friend's expense. We have all spent much of high school looking for ourselves, looking for purpose. We have all made some mistakes. And we have all made some wonderful accomplishments too. There are a ton of mules in our lives. Their existence is inevitable. But it's not important how many mules we have in our barnyards or how often they bite us. What's important is the weapon with which we choose to fight back. We must be our own persons. We must make our own decisions without letting society make them for us. I have a friend, Chris, who lives in Long Island. Chris has been bitten with bowling balls, bowling pins, and whatever else his father could use to beat him. And Chris told me that in spite of that, he still loves his father. This is my goal in life, to do what Chris has done. And through the grace of God, fight with love. What are you going to fight with? Our parents and our friends, they can give us guidance. But this is something that we have to figure out for ourselves. You shouldn't let me or anyone else answer that question for you. All I ask is that it comes from you, that you make this decision on your own. And if you do make it on your own, it can't help but be the right one. When society bites, and it will, just remember, don't bite back. Pick up your own weapon and clobber it. Hatred, stereotypes, judgment, pain, these will be brought into our lives every day. Let's not forget our consciences at the door. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Each year it is a tradition for the departing class to leave a gift to CVU. This year the gift from the senior class will be presented by Catherine Sassarosi and Kate Durda.
Good afternoon. Today, Katie and I are honored to present this year's senior class gifts. Our class has consistently shown an interest in history and politics. For many, this interest has gone far beyond the classroom. Over the years, members of our class have participated in Princeton Model Congress and close-up trips and have been involved in organizations like Amnesty International. Because of our class's continued interest in the world among us, we have decided to create a 21st Century Social Studies Award. This award will be presented at convocation each year by the Social Studies Department to the senior who has, with flair and rigor, consistently challenged himself or herself, fellow students, and teachers to explore the complex issues of our world. The recipient of the award will receive a plaque and a modest stipend. And now I'd like to turn the microphone over to this year's award recipient, Ms. Katie Sassarosi, who will present the second part of our class gift. The second piece of the senior class gift is a new televised in-school message and video system. The system is comprised of 2 televisions located in the entrances to the library and the direction center, a command computer in the main office, and other related technical components. The class of 2001 hopes the gifts will serve 2 purposes: to enhance effective communication concerning daily happenings and upcoming events, and to provide a showcase to display creative student video and musical compositions. On behalf of the Senior Class Council, I would also like to take a moment to recognize our advisor, Mrs. Hyersay, who is retiring after 29 years of teaching. Her dedication and enthusiasm as a teacher and class council advisor has made an impact not only on her students and class council members, but the entire school community. As the advisor for the class of 2001, Mrs. Hyersay's leadership and contributions have made our fundraisers, volunteer efforts, and school functions a success. The senior class would like to thank Mrs. Hyersay for her years of dedication and wish her the best of luck in future endeavors.
Thank you, Katie and Kate. At this time, I would like to recognize the Superintendent of Schools, Brian O'Regan, and the other members of the Champlain Valley Union High School Board of School Directors who are on the stage with me. I would also like, at this time, to recognize the faculty and staff for CVU. If they would stand up. Thank you. And there is special recognition this year, as Katie and Kate spoke. Alice Hyersay will be retiring with this class, or graduating, as she likes to put it, with this class after 29 years. And Sandy Robinson, who has been with the school for 24 years as the House Secretary in the Fairbanks House, will also be joining the ranks of those who retired. We thank them both. At this time, we will be introducing the honored guest for the class of 2001. And to introduce our guest, Tanya Osol and Joshua Stearman.
Good afternoon. I am honored today to introduce to you a man who has had a profound effect upon Vermont's community. Since he came to Burlington 35 years ago, Dr. Lawrence McCrory has dedicated himself to his passions for honoring both science and culture. For 20 years, he was a University of Vermont professor in the medical college and has acted as vice president of student affairs. He is currently professor emeritus of molecular physiology and biophysics and has been awarded an honorary doctor of laws. Dr. McCrory has dedicated himself to his passion for education and cultural awareness and involved himself greatly in the Burlington community, serving in numerous capacities with many organizations such as the YMCA and the Vermont Human Rights Commission. In 2001, he received the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award and is honored by the University of Vermont's H. Lawrence McCrory Multicultural Art Collection. He is currently a visiting or teaching professor at 9 institutions of higher learning worldwide. He continues to perform jazz music and actively involve himself in the betterment of his community through his many endeavors.
I have known Larry for as long as I can remember, and he has been a wonderful mentor and idol for me, along with many other people. Larry has an untamable passion for life that uplifts the people around him, and I feel so honored and privileged to have been lucky enough to know this wonderful man. Larry's hard work and determined attitude have enabled him to surpass expectations and obtain what lies beyond. He has overcome prejudice and injustice, and this has shaped Larry into the passionate and kind-hearted man that he is today. Part of Larry's passion for life is a passion for people and a passion for music. This has enabled Larry to organize trips to other nations wherein he provides impoverished children with musical instruments. But this has also made Larry into one of the finest professors that UVM has ever had. Larry channels all of his experiences and life lessons through reaching out to others and forever impacting their lives. I am very grateful that he has impacted mine. It is with personal honor and privilege to introduce Dr. H. Lawrence McCrory.
Thank you very much.
Oh, geez. Miss Gardner, Mrs. Hirestay, other members of the platform group, CVU faculty and staff, parents and other relatives, partners, and friends of the students, and especially the graduating class of 2001. Greetings. How can I tell you how pleased I am to be here sharing this magnificent and exciting occasion with you? How can I express adequately my gratitude for the honor you have bestowed on me today? I can only say thank you. I am both pleased and honored, and I am extremely grateful. I need to tell you that my being here has an added significance for me. Every one of my 4 children attended this school, so I would like to think that I am here also in their honor. Please allow me to single out 2 very special people who I suspect played an important part in granting this honor. One I just met very recently, with whom interaction was impressively efficient, but also very warm and comfortable, and that's Josh Stearman. And the other, who together with her family I have loved for many, many, many years, and you just met her, or you know her, Tanya Osel. Thanks to both of you. Thank you. For the class of 2001, this is a very special day. You've worked hard to get to it. You've struggled, in some cases, I'm sure, against great odds. You've struggled and won, and nothing could be more satisfying. You are indeed deserving of the highest accolades, and I congratulate each and every one of you. I should add that there are others deserving of our congratulations and our gratitude. People who were on your side every step of the way. Would you mind if I just take time and ask the parents and other relatives and partners of these graduates to stand, and let's salute them. Stand up. Parents, stand up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. A commencement speaker is supposed to have a message. Quite frankly, after listening to Ms. Feinberg and Mr. Donegan, I think they've already given you my message. Incidentally, those were excellent, and I congratulate both of you. My real problem is that I have so much that I really want to say to you. But mind you, I understand that it's hot, and I understand that this is your day, not mine. So I'm keenly aware of time limits. In attempting to formulate my talk, I couldn't help but reflect on how much I envy you. You stand at the very beginning of a new century, one which promises and already is showing a very brave and exciting new world in the future. In short, there will be technological advances undreamed of, even in Star Trek or Star Wars. On the other hand, it is much less reassuring to speculate on the social milieu of that future. If one examines the present trends in the progression of homelessness, hunger, poverty, racism, sexism, homophobia, corporate greed, and meism, the picture seems bleak indeed. Thus, despite all the technological progress we are making, we seem still unable to create a truly pluralistic and just society, one which not only tolerates diversity, but values and cherishes it. We simply have not learned to live together across neither religious nor national nor so-called racial lines, and this is truly absurd. After so many years of attempted enlightenment and understanding, my friends, we need to learn to live together in a global sense, with mutual respect and a sense of justice. It's my feeling, of course, that we are not moving toward that goal, and we do not have forever. 40 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the urgency of now. 80 years ago, a Harlem Renaissance poet, Langston Hughes, reminded us and warned us as he asked, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or sugar and crust over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? No, my friends, we don't have forever. And so, despite the many things I would like to discuss with you, my message is a very simple one. If there is any chance that we might solve these horrible social problems, we will need your help. You simply must involve yourselves in the solutions. I am convinced that we, your so-called role models, cannot do it. We cannot do it. We seem too hung up by past teachings. There may well be too much historical, psychological, and emotional baggage on both sides. It is almost as if we have inherited an inability to change, to get our minds out of the box and to think creatively. No, as an old, tired warrior, any hope that I have for a better world must necessarily reside in and depend upon people like you. It is also my belief that those fortunate enough to be educated bear a special burden to reach out and provide leadership. Why? Because the educated are more noble? Of course not. Rather, because they are more apt to become people in positions of power, people of influence, in short, leaders. My friends, we will need you in that leadership role. Let me remind you of how very fortunate you are. You already have received an education. Many of you, I hope all of you, will continue that education, be it in the colleges and universities, in technical schools, or whatever. In any case, please don't lose sight of what a privilege you have. Let me put this in perspective, and I heard this just a few years ago from Olin Robinson, who was the former president of Middlebury. Half of the people who ever lived are living now. Think about that. Of all the people who ever lived in history, half of them are living right now. It's an enormous number of people. Those of you who go on to college or other educational institution will represent such a tiny fraction of the population. There are many, many more in the world hungry for an education and just as deserving as you, who do not and will not have such an opportunity. So keep in mind how fortunate you are and use the opportunity wisely. Please don't ever take it for granted. Remember also that college or not, ultimately each of us is responsible for his or her own education. Thus, each of you must prepare yourself to accept the role of a knowledgeable and enlightened citizen. How you enter this new world will be critical to how we all will fare in it. And I am concerned about our past and present failures. We certainly haven't had societal leadership at the national level that's capable of moving us along for decades now. We desperately need your help. And so, this is a call to service, a plea that whatever your discipline, your profession, or life work, that you reach out way beyond that individual interest. Reach out and provide service to the community, to the people. Reach out and help lift the veil of ignorance from those who are less knowledgeable and less understanding. What in my mind is most critical is the need to help all people embrace the concept of diversity. Too many fail to see the richness, the educational value of expanding our minds and lives to include a larger and more diverse world. To interact with people of divergent views, with very different experiences and backgrounds. In short, we need to come to value diversity rather than fear or merely tolerate it. Today we live in a fragmented culture. More and more we seem to seek the shelter of sameness, as if banding together and isolating ourselves will ensure safety. What it will ensure is our continued ignorance of each other and of the world around us. The Columbines of our recent experiences should have taught us that. We need to move past this, my friends. Isolationism is not the way to go. We lose too much. As our privacy deepens and the distance between us increases, we pay a terrible price. We lose our sense of relatedness to those strangers with whom we must share the earth. We lose our sense of comfort and at-homenness in the world. I urge you to reach out. Gain the knowledge and the skills necessary to give life to the idea of a truly free and equal society. The next few years, whether in college or in the workplace, will be the perfect time and setting in which to explore outside one's usual experiences. Develop your imagination. Gain what Norman Cousins calls emotional literacy. Reach out, my friends. Make friendships where you can. Get to know other people, other ways of thinking. But even in the absence of friendships, forge ahead anyway. It isn't about love, it's about respect. In a beautiful book called The Company of Strangers, Parker Palmer argues that the foundation of a community is not the intimacy of friends, but the capacity of strangers to share a common territory, common resources, common problems, without in many cases ever becoming friends. And he challenges us to think of the community of the future as a dynamic process in which strangers meet, discover their commonality, deal with their conflicts, and celebrate their unity while still remaining strangers. They may not know each other. They may not speak the same language, and they may look strange, even ominous in each other's eyes, but they occupy the same territory. They belong to the same human community, and they need to acknowledge that fact and learn to get along. What if in the year 2015, we could look back to CVU, to this very special group of students, the class of 2001, students who had gone on to gain the understanding of the problem, an appreciation of the value of the goal, and the commitment to persevere, students who had been indeed on the right side of history. It could happen. It could happen if we but had the will. And you are the right group. Throughout the history of this country, we so often have had to depend upon students to lead the way. Witness Kent State and Jackson State, increasing our sensitivity to the Vietnam nightmare. Witness student rallies against South African investment. Witness those people in my generation who went south to integrate those toilets and those hamburger stands. They were not the dregs of society. They were students like many of you. They had come to understand the inhumanity of that system, its roots, its inner workings, its anachronistic existence. And as that understanding came, they poured out of those educational institutions. They paused before those lunch counters. They took a deep breath, and they leapt into history. And the world has not been the same since. Not for them, nor us, nor Catholics, nor women, nor gays, nor lesbians, nor the physically impaired, nor the elderly. Those students acted to free all of us. Yes, it can happen. Yes, it can happen. and you can do it. You will need only two things, the understanding and the will. Understanding comes from knowledge, which is a product of education. The will comes from the heart. Let me close by sharing a story. It's an African tale involving two young lads, testy as lads may be. They taunted an old man, a village elder, challenging his wisdom. Approaching him with hands held behind, they asked, "Old man, you're so wise. What do we have in our hands?" And said he, "You have a bird." They were astonished. They retreated. They couldn't believe it. And then they said that he was just lucky that time. So they constructed a new plot. This time they would ask if the bird were alive or dead. If he answered dead, they would show him a live bird. If he said alive, they would quickly kill the bird and show him a dead one. Now we'll show him he's not so wise. "Old man, is the bird alive or dead?" Said the wise man, "The bird's future is in your hands." My friends, my future, our future, is in large measure in your hands. And I'm betting on you. I'm betting that you will be able to help to create that future rather than merely inherit it. Again, congratulations. We're very proud of you. Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. McCrory. At this time, I would like to recognize the valedictorian and salutatorian of the class of 2001. This year's valedictorian, Safira Feinberg. And the salutatorian, Anisha Advani. Mr. Mason, would you like to join me at this time? Yes. The moment I think the graduates have been waiting for. Mr. Mason, as chairman of the board of directors, these students have satisfactorily completed the prescribed course of study according to the requirements of the state of Vermont and the board of school directors of Champlain Valley Union High School. Therefore, I recommend that they be recognized as graduates of this high school, the class of 2001.
Thank you, Val. By virtue of the power invested in this high school and its chairman of the board of directors, I accept your recommendation.
Thank you. Will the graduates please approach the platform at this time? No. Marcy. That's all. Jordan T. Adams. Sumi J. Adams. Sarah W. Adsit. Anisha J. Advani. Melissa Arell. William A. Babcock. Tyler R. Bacon. Caitlin J. Baroni. Bridget A. Barrett. Justin M. Bashaw. Elise M. Bouchard. Zachary L. Belcher. Jonathan A. Belisle. Joelle L. Berry. Justin T. Bilodeau. Jesse P. Burkett. Amanda E. Bissonette. Leonard J. Bissonette. Taylor A. Blades. Randall A. Blanchette. Elizabeth M. Blumhart. Carrie A. Bowen. Maria A. Boyven. Bradley J. Bouquet. Thomas J. Boris. Kimberly L. Bouchard. Jennifer J. Boucher. Sheena R. Boutan. Elizabeth J. Brassord. Courtney A. Brennan. Christopher P. Brooks. Richard A. Brooks. Trevor R. Brooks. Daniel E. Brown. Peter J. Brown. Susan E. Brunel. Isa R. Bufano. Heather Lynn Burnett. Nathaniel T. Burris. Kyle A. Campbell. Kristen M. Carmichael. Megan E. Karen. Paul L. Carpenter. Sarah L. J. Chandler. Arthur B. Chuckman. Ned S. Church. Julie A. Collins. Trisha D. Condon. Brian W. Connolly. Kelly M. Cooney. Jessica M. Corin. Emily M. Kutu. Christopher Crapo. Jessica P. Cross. Lauren L. Crowley. David M. Curry. Rebecca J. Danaher. Kyle B. Darling. Andrew G. Daw. Thomas S. Deckman. Michael H. Dinitz. Joseph R. Donegan. Jennifer L. Drew. Ashley Town Dubois. Ryan M. Dubray. Megan J. Dunn. Kate M. Durda. Brenda K. Eaton. Catherine J. Elvin. Bambi J. L. Emmons. Jocelyn Rose Irway. Hector E. Estrada. Erin Elizabeth Everts. Safira D. Feinberg. C. Douglas Ferreira. Peter A. B. Flynn. Sarah Ann Friedhoff. William E. Fuller. Serena Fernari. Gretchen E. Gradu. Brent M. Gay. Sophie J. Gazda. Ruth H. Gelber. Rebecca K. Gentile. Nicole M. Gingra. Kyle D. Giro. John P. Goodrich, Lindsay R. Graham, Heather L. Gregoric, Ann M. Grover, Maria E. Guevara, Jessica J. Gilmet, Kristen A. Haddock, Ryan A. Haggerty, Amanda M. Hare, Christopher T. Hart, Allison J. Hathaway, Melissa H. Hayden, Lisa N. Henry, Philip G. Henry, Abby E. Hill, Brian C. Hurton, Mark G. Holland, Andrew C. Holmberg, Amanda E. Hood, Matthew J. Hopper, Justin P.B. Howe, Caroline A. Howland, Rob D. Ianoli, Eric H. Iverson, Douglas K. Jackson, Mandy L. Jewett, Sarah A. Keene, Timothy M. Kenlin, Roland S. Keelman, Samantha A. King, Jason C. Kirkpatrick, Emily C. Knapp, Keely M. Kraus, Vic K. Lamb, Andrew P. Lapierre, Daniel M. Lavalette, Joseph F. Lavalette, Kyle J. Lavery, Christine E. Langevine, Elizabeth V. H. Lednicki, Sarah G. Lennis, David H. Leopold, Bradford J. Lewis, Tiffany A. Lagon, Malin E. Lindberg, Philip D. Lindeman, Lindsay B. Lange, Adam S. Mace, Christopher D. Mack, Elizabeth J. Maffin, Corey A. Marshall, Eric W. Mesha, Jorge Mateo, Brian T. McBurney, Kelly L. McCarran, Adam P. McClary, Jacob L. Meyer, We'll get to yours. Jacob Meyer, Matthew J. Meyer, Christy L. Miller, Jasmine L. Miller, Patrick T. Miner, Alina M. Mobbs, Jessica B. Morey, Heather A. Mossy, Kelly A. Munson, Nicole M. Murphy, Trista M. Musser, Emily J. Nelson, Kirsten E. Nelson, Jason B. Nickel. Zachary J. Nola. Misty L. Normandy. Chelsea Grace O'Brien. Justin O'Brien. Jesse W.B. Olson. Tyler T. Orbis. Tanya R. Olsol. Ashley J. Osterhout. Crystal L. Owen. Travis A. Palmer. William W. Park. Shane Parker. Cyrus O. Patton. Shauna L. Pelkey. Leah G. Pellegrino Young. Jonathan A. Pence. Megan E. Percival. Carrie I. Perkins. Emily E. Place. Amanda J. Paquette. Matthew P. Paquette. Zachary P. Pouch. Andrew M. Pouch. Benjamin C. Powden. Spencer B. Paulson. Shelby A. Priest. Logan H.J. Puck. Adam C. Relic. Alexandra M. Reese. Laura C. Revelia. Heather J. Rice. Vanessa Richard. David J. Richards. Jared A. Richardson. Joseph J. Roberts. Jessica L. Rohde. Christopher J. Root. Ben A. Rude. Amy M. Rushford. Blythe C. Sadler. Adam L. Salvatore. Chad D. Sanford. Rebecca L. Santor. Catherine A. Sassarosi. Jody J. Schreier. Todd A. Schreier. Tobiah S. Schulman. Renee L. Senesac. Sean A. Sione. Jill E. Severance. Hermione M. Simons-Loebs. Samantha E. Simpson. Wendy A. Simpson. Brenton K. Sesko. George W. Smith. Graham S. Smith. Gabriel J. Sortino. Joshua H. Stearman. Michael B. Stevens. Megan E. Stewart. Victor Svensson. Charlotte M. Sweenor. Jennifer A. Sinot. Sarah Talbert. Jennifer Lynn Therian. Kelly L. Tebow. Valerie M. Thibodeau. Colin M. Thompson. Jonathan M. Trombley. Joshua G. Tucker. Marisol A. Valencia. Barry P. Van Sleet. Travis M. Van Sleet. Elizabeth S. Van Wert. Andrew M. Vogt. Jonathan C. Vogt. Jonathan R. Weiner. Douglas I. Walker. Benjamin A. Webster. Sarah R. Webster. Robert P. Wellman. Jessica A. Whitaker. Jessica K. Whitcomb. Robert J. Wilhite. Stacy A. Wilson. Timothy E. Wilson. Stephen M. Wynn. And David B. Zanatti. Congratulations, class of 2001. At this time, the concluding farewell for the class of 2000 will be delivered by Jessica Whitcomb.
With another foot of snow out there and more on the way, the list is extensive, so pay careful attention for your school. Addison Central, Addison Northwest, Chittenden East, Underhill ID, Jericho Elementary, Chittenden South, Chittenden East, Underhill ID, Allenbrook, Champlain Valley Union, Charlotte Central. You let out a cheer or a silent prayer and pull your comforter back up around your head. There's nothing sweeter than hearing that you have the day off, especially as seniors. Remember these winter mornings with a smile. Remember the small things that made life more fun and the unexpected joys that come when you aren't ready for them. I hope you have listened carefully to all the sounds in these last 4 years and last few weeks, because these sounds last a lifetime. Store them up and save them in your hearts, because they are priceless. Each whisper, each tick of the clock is a reminder of something you have gained while here at CVU. Pay attention to these sounds, so when you hear them later in life, you will remember. When you hear a bell ring, remember our first day of school back in August of 1997. The coolness of the tables and desks chilled our suntanned skin as we sat shyly on the edge of our seats, quietly absorbing that shrill sound of our first high school bell when it rang at 8:05 that morning. As much as our eyelids wanted to sink into a deep abyss, a thrill crept through our bones as we eyed the other freshmen that inevitably looked bigger and braver than ourselves, as we wondered what the next day would be like when the upperclassmen filled the already overflowing halls. Instead of being afraid, we learned to maneuver through the sea of students in a pack, thereby avoiding the grueling task of trying to make our way through the halls after advisory solo. We learned to problem solve quickly in those first days, a valuable skill. Don't forget this lesson, for it will take you far in life. As a cheer rings out, think back to playoff field hockey games in frigid winter air that lasted for 2 days and 12 overtimes. Remember clinging frantically to lukewarm hot chocolate or coffee, or for those super fans, the ice-cold pom-poms and old cheerleading outfits. Listen once more more for the resonating sound of cowbells as you rang them frantically in hopes that it would bring a soccer ball back to the right side of the field. Feel again the sensation of being squashed between other celebrating students as the clock ticked away the final seconds, displaying the winning score. Remember the pride you all felt and hold it close, for it is a part of you. When you hear a clock tick, remember all we have accomplished at CVU, for these actions far outnumber the seconds that have elapsed while we were here. We are the class of 2001, the graduating seniors of Champlain Valley Union High School. In our midst, I hear the voice of the first female president and the words of a renowned humanitarian. I hear the song of the next Broadway star, the acceptance speech of a Nobel Prize-winning chemist, the critique of the next Van Gogh, the statistics of a professional baseball player, and the induction of the new CEO of Victoria's Secret. I hear bills being introduced by a senator and a dinner toast given by a diplomat. We have more than potential. We have drive. We know how to do things, and we know how to do them well. Finally, our chance to do this has come. We have left our mark on CVU, and now it is our turn to do the same for the world. So as we set out on different paths, listen carefully for the sounds of past few weeks, months, and years. They are a link to the past and our key to the future. Congratulations.